but now I'm kind of a little sleepy. And I will tell you, if you go back to last August, so I'm going to talk us through this because I think it's better for understanding, but there is a script there. So if our script fails utterly, we can go and steal the script from there.
Is that from your blog?
It's from the blog from last August. It's a Metro data warehouse, and I ran it last night and it works. Now again, the problem with Metro basically is that the data doesn't make sense, right? It's just not that coherent. So the results we get when we get into some of the analysis is just, but I want to do the tutorial, and we can decide when we get there whether we want to do it together or just you guys follow the script because it's basically a script online. But it will take us, it takes you farther. It takes you into setting performance indicators. It takes you into doing some of the statistical analysis, applying some of the built-in statistical patterns. I mean, it takes you all the way through what the basic business intelligence will do. Whereas I don't think we can get that far with MetroAlt, but I thought if we did that, we could come back and just see how far we get with MetroAlt. Because as I said, I usually stop with the cube. And I think we have time because we have 2 whole weeks here, right?
Next is week 7.
Yeah, so we have through week 8. I mean, there is actually a little final there, which, is there? Not in this cluster, is it? The other one, there's a little tiny one where you write a paragraph. But no, there's no final, so we can just work through. And as I said, I think this will be interesting, and if you ever go out and look for work, you can say that you've walked through it at least. All right, so I'm going to bring up SQL Server Management Studio. So a couple of things I was going to say too. We're going to make a separate data warehouse database, and this is actually fairly typical. One of the problems with it is that the data will be not live, right? And that's why you use the SSIS, which we'll do probably Tuesday, is to move the data into the data warehouse periodically and keep it fresh. The other way to do this, and I don't want localhost here. Why are there 2 of those? The other way to do this is to create views. So instead of creating the tables, the database like we're going to do, they would create views of the data that map to the dimensional structure. That keeps it live, but when you're running analysis on a database, it can diminish performance a little bit. So the first thing I want to do is just a little bit of a view of like the AdventureWorks. If you guys looked at the AdventureWorks database, let's look at the regular database first. It's got 1 billion tables. All right, come on in. So in AdventureWorks, you see, and it has all of these. We did a little bit with schema. Notice there's all these different schemas. It has all these different tables, but it's basically just a normal relational database. One thing they did with AdventureWorks is that it goes beyond 3rd-degree normalization by a lot. It's highly normalized. Yeah.
Wow. So there's a lot of tables.
It is a lot of tables, and each table, most of these tables have keys that refer to keys that refer to keys. It gets.
Are many of them just like linking tables?
Well, so like when you want to see a person, it's hard to explain, but a lot of these have, I don't know, let's look at notice they have their own email address as a table. They also have a whole password table. And then they have a person-person table. Let's look at the person-person table. I'm not sure what's in these. I usually just export it. And this whole database, which might help when we start doing the data warehousing part of it. Because again, I'm just looking at this as an example. But this is all about a company that sells bicycle parts. That's what the theory is for the VentureWorks. I'm just going to real quickly do select, not that this matters. This isn't really relevant, but from person dot person. I have no idea what's in here. So it does have a name. It has the business identity ID, person type, name style, which I'm not sure, title if they have one, first name, last name, suffix, email promotion, demographics, which is an XML file. They have a row, GUID, and modified date. So if you do like person address, person business entity, so let's do person. Because they have their person business entity ID. And if I execute that, so it just has the business ID, the row GID, the modified date. It doesn't have anything else. It just has an entity ID and a date. And this is just a random GUID. Anyway, navigating this database can be a bit weird. My point in looking at the database and all of its tables is to show you, though, that it is a basic relational database. When you get into the DW here and you look at the tables, they're all of a different kind. So there's like a dimension account, dimension currency, dimension customer, dimension date, dimension employee, dimension geography. So there are all these different dimension tables. Dimension tables are tables that describe an object. So all the fields in your database that describe a customer will be in like the dimension customer. So let's look at dimension customer. So I'm going to cheat. So I'm going to do it from dim customer. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk through and do this with Metro Alt. Customer. So everything that describes a customer, they've got the customer key, the geography key, and notice there's a dimension for geography. Customer alternative key, first name, middle. They've kind of accumulated all the information, the first name, middle name, last name. They come from person table, marital status, email address. That comes from the email table.
So like rather than doing like a huge join.
Yeah, it is basically a huge join.
Is it denormalized? Exactly.
It's structured in a very different way. Let's look and see if I can find a diagram. Ouch. Every once in a while, my knee gives me a little tweak. So let's do data warehouse. All right, so this one is actually for AutoMart, which we've never looked at. But what you do is you build a fact table that is related to all the measurables. Basically, it's a key. It has a key to all of the dimensions. And then it has whatever fields you're going to be able to summarize, calculate, do things like that. They're still relational in the sense that you're still using keys and foreign keys. It's not broken up into the sets are different. The idea of the sets are different. The idea, these are things that describe the facts. Does that make sense? Dimension tables are things that describe the facts.
Sort of like metadata? Or?
Kind of. They're sort of like when you do when you do the cube, you will want to know what these numbers mean. where did these numbers come from? And they can come from these dimension tables. I know this is very vague right now. That's why we're going to build it out step by step. It's a different way of looking at the structure of database. And it wouldn't work. It absolutely would not work if you were trying to do your accounting with it, right? But it works much better when you're trying to do particularly what they call multi-dimensional analysis. Multi-dimensional just means that you might want to see which vehicles do these customers have given these times during this time or something. You're using multi-dimensional because you're using querying from multi points of view at the same time. Does that make sense? There are things that, I mean, if you're doing this right, you might be able to say, who is our average customer in these cities who shops at these times during the day, right? And you can get some information about the average age of your customer, where they come from, kind of, depending on what data you have, maybe what their income level is, or at least what zip codes they come from, you know, different kinds of things like that. And it comes from mixing multiple different query point, you know, querying it from multi-directions at once. That's what they mean by multi-dimensional. It's kind of like physics. Dimensions are just a variable, right? That's why you can have string theory 26 dimensions, because they just need 26 variables to make it work.
I thought the upper limit of M theory was 11 dimensions.
Some of them have 26. There are two versions of string theory. Not that this matters. I think string theory is probably full of crap, but there's nothing measurable in it. It doesn't make.
Well, I'm interested to see like what data ELISA or LIGO collects regarding gravitational wave signals from cosmic strings, but that's a whole other topic.
Right, but the other thing that they've done is that a lot of the predictions have failed so far. There is no symmetry that they can find. Because part of the predictions is not that this has anything to do with dimension. Yeah. Part of the prediction is symmetry between.
Supersymmetry? Between forces?
What?
Supersymmetry?
Yeah. So you should be able to find particles and antiparticles in relative similarity. All right, so let's go back. That was a thing. There are other versions in here, I think, if I were to go back and look. That's not what I wanted. I think this is stuff we'll be doing. This is one for, again, the same thing. It's a little bit modified. This is, I don't know if I have the picture of it though. Let's see if there's a picture at the bottom. I'm just looking for a picture of it. I'm not seeing it, so we'll skip it for now. All right, so anyway, we're going to make, ours is going to be a lot simpler than this. The other thing to know about all these dimensions, and notice they have a lot of different fact tables. Typically, when you're doing an analysis, you're probably only choosing one of these fact tables at a time, and then the dimensions that go with it. So you don't necessarily, you wouldn't try to do all of this at once. And ours is going to be way simpler. But when we do the tutorial, we'll follow through. But again, I think it takes like one of these fact tables and the dimension tables that go with it, and then builds up an analysis of that. It doesn't try to do everything either. Okay. So to make a dimension table, if you look at Metro Alt, let's just sort of talk through it. As I said, this is a different way of thinking about things. So I'm just going to look at the tables that we have. And up here I will do use. Well, actually, we're going to eventually use master, but I'm going to do a just some comments where we'd kind of talk through what would the dimension tables be, do you think? If we're looking, so what we're looking for is probably all related to ridership. Ridership is really our only measurable place, right? Because it has fares and it has numbers of riders. So what are the things that might be dimensions, just as a guess? Anybody?
Dimensions.
So there.
Possibly the fare, although the fare is measurable, right? So the fare would probably be, these are things that would describe fare and ridership are probably our facts for the fact table. But we need to know, what do we need to know about the ridership? We need to probably know
Numbers.
right, those again are the measures. I think what buses, right? So bus might be a thing. Bus route. I'm just looking to see what I did here. I have employee, although I'm not sure that matters, but we could possibly, there are some things you could do the analysis for employees, right? That's actually another thing you could measure. And that might be another way to look at things is to there are some measurable facts in the employee, the bus schedule assignment table. That's the other big core. I have what did I do? I'm not sure why I named it fact schedule, but you might have the schedule. And one of the reasons why I may not get great results is that I may have the wrong dimensions. So that's something you guys could. What else do I have? I have the route. I have that up there. Bus route schedule. Employee.
So these dimensions are to tell us information about the ridership?
Yeah, so basically, employees are an outlier there. I'm not sure, because one of the things we could do is a hold up another cube, and maybe we could try this if it doesn't do well, is to look at what the employees are doing, and we could maybe analyze how many routes they're doing, and the average load of work for an employee and things like that. So I'm not sure how important employee is in this. The other thing I have is just schedule. I have schedule up there. One that you almost always have is a date dimension, because you want to usually spread these across time in some way and compare times. These are actually what I have, but when I look at them, I think I'm not sure those are the right ones. I'll show you what I have, and then we can change it or do a different one, maybe, or add to it.
So I guess the question is like what you were looking for regarding ridership. Right?
Yeah, so what I have for a fact table, I actually called it fact schedule. But it's actually not so much about the schedule, it's about the ridership and the fares. So maybe a different name for it would work better. Does that make sense? Now, how did I just was looking, how do you figure these out? I was just looking at the stuff we got. We got a schedule. We've got, we've got buses. The bus barn isn't too relevant, but we could add it if we think that that's an important thing.
Maybe like maintenance.
Yeah.
Is there anything in there you can measure?
The only other place that's measurable, I think, is in the bus schedule assignment, and that would focus more on the employee position.
So that could be a whole separate.
Yeah. As I said, if this fails, maybe that's another route to take. And I'm not sure how important the employee is here, but we'll do it anyway. I have, if you ever want to look at them, I have books, but they're really thick and complicated on how to do this. And I have fought with this for a long time at different times, trying to make it, significant. Again, when we do the adventure works, that'll help, I think, a lot. Although it's like the typical Microsoft thing, it never says why. It just do this, do this, do this, do this. All right, so what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this at the very top. So I'm going to do, so we got use master. And then I'm going to say if, oops, I'm going to end my comment. This is always useful if you know that you're going to make mistakes, especially. And I'm going to call this select name from sys.databases where name equals, I'm going to call this Metro Alt DW. So if this exists, and I'm going to do, let's do it over here. I'm going to do a begin, end, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop database Metro Alt DW. So what I'm going to do, basically what's happening here is if the database exists, drop it, and then we're going to recreate it. And the reason I'm doing this is partially because if you screw up, sometimes it's easier just to drop it and do it again. Right? When you adjust the script, then you can run the whole script and it'll replace everything. This is good if you don't have a lot of live data, because if you did, you'd lose it all. So we're basically going to drop it, and then I'm going to say go. And actually, I should say go here. And the go is necessary here. And I'm going to do create database, Metro Alt DW. And then I'm going to do a go. And the goes are necessary here if you're going to run it as a script. Does that make sense? Again, if you were in another environment, the semicolons would serve that purpose. And as I said, if you get totally messed up on this script, it is in last August. But right now, I'm just going to follow the script that I did, and then we can adjust things if we want to. So I'm going to make a database, Metro Alt DW. Again, this is the theory. One of the ways to do this would be to create a series of views that create the dimensions in the fact tables. But I think it's better to have it separate. It's offline that way, so you're not messing with the performance of this, although this is performance issues because it's dead most of the time. But it also gives you a little bit more flexibility. This gets more complicated because it's possible to bring in stuff from other databases. I'm not going to do that, but you could, right? So if you needed, if you wanted a broader analysis of things.
If you found like a weather database, if you got that ridership on sunny days was
Yeah, you could do things like that. You could also, I was thinking like of a NoSQL database. If you could take the NoSQL data and turn it into tables, which you can in SQL Server 2016. You could add those tables there too, so you could get some of your NoSQL data into there too. It would no longer be NoSQL because it would be in SQL. One of the things with that, and it's true with the JSON things in general, is that so you select which fields you want to convert into columns from the JSON. So it has to have some consistency. The thing that always drives me nuts about the NoSQL that I played with is that consistency is entirely dependent on the developer. There's nothing in the database to enforce consistency. but most would be, probably somewhat consistent. All right, so having created the database, let's do create table dim employee. Again, I'm going to do employee first, even though I don't know that employee is even relevant to what we're doing. This is a part where I would like, maybe, as I said, maybe we can refine this. So one of the things you do is you give each one of these their own key. But I'm not going to give the key right now. And there's a reason for this, identity. Because when we do the SSIS, the first thing you're going to do is go through and drop all the constraints, which means drop all the keys. Then you insert the data, and then you add the keys back. It just prevents a lot of crashing errors. So if we, from the very beginning, do all the keys by doing alters, then we've already got that script ready for the SSIS. But this will be the primary key of this. And then we're going to do employee key. So this is the existing, and this will be an int. And that'll be a foreign key, right? And then we'll do the position key. So these are all things that can describe the position, the employee. I'm also going to do the position name. Not sure if I need the position key. I think I did need it because of the joins that we need to do to get stuff in there. In varchar 255. And I'm going to do employee hire date, which is date, and employee hourly pay rate, which was decimal 52, I think. I'm going by my script. Again, I played with this last night, but I don't trust myself to do this off the top of my head. Although we did in class. I know I've done it before in class, all from the raw, and then fixed it when it didn't work. So do you see sort of the pattern? All of these things, they come from different tables, but they're all describing the employee. Right? So to fill this, to populate this table is going to involve joins from position, employee position, and employee. Does that make sense? One reason I think I leave the employee table in there is that it is fairly obvious what's going on. So I'm going to do a go, and I'm going to create a table for describing the bus. So I'm going to create table dim bus. And this is going to have, it's going to have a dim bus key. So every table has its own random number key. And it is this key that will be used to link it to the fact table. The fact table will have a link to every dimension table that's relevant to it. So I'm going to have the bus key. And I'm going to have the bus type key. And I'm going to have the bus type description. Which is in varchar. What? Oh, thank you. So the bus type purchase price, and that's decimal 12.2. Now, one of the things I don't have here, but it occurs to me, maybe I should have the bus barn too. I don't know. Do we want that?
What value that is for the data?
Yeah, I don't know if it has any value either. So we could probably leave it out.
So with the decimal data type, when you say 12.2, does that mean 12 digits to the left of the decimal point and 2 digits to the right of it?
No, it means 12 total digits,
Okay.
2 of which, so it'd be 10.2.
Oh, I see.
It took me a while to actually figure that out, but if you read the documentation, this is the total number of digits, so the total precision, and then this is the number to the right of the decimal. So if I did 12, comma 12, it would mean all 12 would be to the left of the right of the decimal point. All right, so those are things that describe bus. And then I have the route. The hard part of these, one of the real hard parts is populating these tables. So I'm going to call this dim route. And it is pretty much standard to name your dimension tables with the beginning dim and your fact tables with the beginning fact, the word fact. So far I'm not varying from my script, but for the route I just had the dim route key. Int identity. And I had the so the route key. And then the bus route zone, which is probably a badly named field. That's where the city basically tells what the city name is. And then there are a few of them that are cross zone, which means they cross more than one city, which I should have done a subtable then to say which cities, but I didn't. I think that's all I have for this one. And again, we can, once we do this and play with it, we can, it would actually probably be a good practice to go through and figure out what would make this better. So I'm going to, only a couple more tables to go. So I have the route and then the schedule. So I'm going to do go, create table dim schedule, and there will be a dim schedule key. And then I have the bus schedule. What do I have? Bus schedule driver shift key. I wonder if I should have some other keys in here. I have the bus driver shift key. And I have the bus schedule assignment key. I think if we wanted, and that would be an int. I think we might want like the employee key in there too, but I don't have it. Should I add the employee key? Let's add it. It's going to mean some changes, which could throw me. Employee key int. It would bring in the employee though. It would allow a little bit of analysis on the employee. I think that'll be it for that one. And then the fact. And I have it called fact schedule. And I'm not sure that's a good name for it, but let's do create table fact schedule. So this is the first one that's not a dim. And so what I have is I have the dim employee key. And that's an int. What? Oh, I forgot the date. Thank you. You're looking at my script, huh? We do need a dim date. Let's do before we do the fact. Let's do create table dim date. Oops. And so we need a dim date key. You guys doing okay? So we need the bus schedule assignment date. Which is a date. And I'm going to do bus schedule I'm going to say year, which will be an int. And I'm going to do month. Which will also be an int. So it needs another S. Let's capital this. Okay, so there's our date one. And you can break down, actually this is the one that they talk the most about, it's really crucial and it can be really difficult. So when we populate this, we're going to do the month and the year functions. And you can break this down if you need. There are ways to break it down into month, year, quarter, day, hour, minute, however, whatever time increments you need. I can't imagine doing it much. We could do, we have the actual date, we have the year, and we have the month. I think that's enough for us. So then when we go to the fact, so this is the employee key. Okay, and then, so that comes from the dim employee table. We need the bus key, dim bus key. And it's important to put not null here because we're going to make it all a huge composite key. And it won't let you do it if it's nullable. I'm going to do dim route key. I am doing the dim schedule key. And I'm going to do the dim date key. And all of these will be part of this horrible, ugly composite key.
So the date isn't in.
Yeah, but because we have at the top, we have the dim date key as an anti-identity. And then after we have all of the references to all of the dimension tables, then we put in the facts that we're going to do, which is writers. And I have fares per route. I'm not sure. I'm going to look at that. I think it's like it's a calculated field, and I did it as money. And that is all the data tables. Let's we could run that if you want.
Just run the whole.
Yeah, do you want to do that, or you want to wait for the script goes on for a page or two?
What was the last one in the fact table? That's fine.
Fares per route. So what the next part, maybe we should do the next part before we run it all. You can always rerun it too, but I'm just curious if I hopefully don't have any errors so far. What we're going to do next is add the primary keys constraints. And actually, all the foreign keys in here don't get labeled as foreign keys. The employee, int, and things like that. But in the fact table, those do. So let's do, actually not dim. I'm just going to go down here. Alter table dim employee. Set or add constraint. And then we need to give the constraint a name. So I'm going to just do pk dim employee. And the type of key is a primary key. And the field is dim employee key. And basically we need to do this. So I'm going to kind of copy this, which is not necessarily wise because we do need to make changes every time. So I'm going to do this again, but this one will be for dim. Second one we did was bus. And I'm going to call this pk dim bus. And this is just dim bus key. And then this one is dim bus route, or dim route. Dim route. And dim route key. We need to do another two. So after the route was schedule. And this will be dim schedule. And dim schedule key. All right. And then it's just dim date, right? And then the fact table has a lot of these. So let's just do one more for dim date. The danger with cutting and pasting like this is that you forget to change something. All right, so we have a primary key for all of the the dim tables. Now we want one for the fact table. And we could, I'm just going to, I will paste this one more time for the fact table because this will be a primary. So I'm going to say fact schedule. And this will be fact schedule. And it's important to name these here. One reason I'm doing it this way, we will want to add all of these back at the end. So, you know, we have the script there, and then also we're going to need to drop them. So it's really useful if you have a naming convention and then you know what the things are named. Because when we do the SSIS script, first thing we do will be to drop all the constraints. So the key for here is going to be everything. It's going to be dim, actually, so dim employee key was okay. Dim, the next one was bus key, right? Dim,
Under bus key, route key, schedule key, and date key.
there should be a bus too.
Okay.
Dim bus key, dim route key, dim, so I'm going to break this just to keep it on screen. So got dim route, dim schedule key, dim. So I'll go back over this if you're missing the bus thing on there.
I got it now.
Okay. Dim schedule key, dim date key. That's all of the foreign keys, right?
Oh, and then we have to call it,
Call it what?
would it still be, oh, because.
These are all part of a composite key, a really ugly composite key. So one of the things, and this is typical of a fact table, is that the primary key is basically a collection of all the foreign keys.
So this is
Yeah, it's a
where we're
composite key.
creating the composite key.
Right, well then the way you create a composite key is you just list all the elements that are part of the key.
Okay.
So the other thing we need to do is that we need to add a foreign key for each of these, right? Because each of these is a foreign key. Now I have them all as separate. I think you can get away with making it as one big long statement. I don't know if we should try. We could try that though. So I'm going to alter table fact schedule. I'm going to add constraint. And basically what we want is, I'm going to do it as fx dim, not fx, foreign key, fk, dim employee, because basically that's where it's going to come from. It'll be a foreign key with a space. And the foreign key will be dim employee key. And I guess I'll break the line here, but I'll kind of indent it. References, dim employee, dim employee key. Now, what you can do, why does it not like dim employee key? Did I spell it wrong? Oh, I put a comma here. There's no comma. I will put a comma here, and I think you can go, because these are all the same, I think we can, because they're all the same table. Yeah, I'm not positive. So we need to name this different. So this would be dim. If this fails, we'll need to put an alter table. So this one is dim bus. Dim bus key. References dim bus. So it doesn't seem to like add constraint there. So the safe thing to do is to just alter table each time. So I'm going to copy that.
Okay, so what oh, so we have to do it.
Yeah, so you have to do alter table fact schedule again. So I'm copied the whole thing. So then this one would be dim route and dim route key and dim route key and dim route. There's more things to change here, so there's more chances of going wrong.
In bus route.
Is it bus route?
Is it dim?
Did I name it as bus route?
We did on the alter tables of the.
So when we alter dim bus, dim route, should be just dim route, I think.
Yeah, but
Where did we do it wrong?
more alternate tables are adding the private key constraints.
Right.
At least I did.
I have dim route.
I have dim bus route. Is that not it?
It needs to match what your table is.
It's so weird that we don't like the bus route.
Yeah, I have dim bus route, but dim for the primary key. So it's just dim route.
Just the name.
Yeah. So it whatever matches you what you wrote, right? All right. So we got. So next one is schedule and then date.
So let's see.
Oh, I did schedule, but I didn't change schedule. I have it here twice. Oh, fact schedule. And then this one is dim schedule. Is that right? No, that was route. Never mind. This one is schedule. See how confusing it can be to copy and paste?
Let's see. So we've got.
Just a schedule.
Yeah. And again, I'm not sure my naming conventions are best. So the principle here is we're just adding all the keys and foreign keys.
I've got a red line.
Where?
Do on the alter table, FK is doing to add. Let me go
All right.
I don't know.
So I'll walk. Do you need me to walk through all of those? Take a look at them again?
Could you like?
Yeah. Just leave this one for a minute.
Yeah, I just figured out.
So these are the last three. Schedule. So route, schedule, and date. Did I leave anything out? At this point, we can run this. I could take a look. There's a lot of places where typos could happen in this. So you're on round. Yes. That actually looks good.
I wonder if I have
Oh, you didn't put the, you need to write back schedule by health.
2 more. Those are for.
So should I run this just to see if it works? What? It didn't run. Let's see if mine will run before anything else. Mine did. Mine did not. Yeah, you can execute it. Yeah, just not select anything, just execute it all. Oh, you know what though?
You use master, right?
Yeah, and I think I wrote them all into master.
I think Uh-oh.
So I think one of the things we have to do right up at the top is after we create Metro, right after that go, we need to use Metro Alt DW and then do go again. So, because I'm pretty sure that I just wrote all those tables to master.
Right after, I'm sorry.
So right after create database,
Metro Alt DB.
and then
So
do
between the
go,
go.
use Metro
Go.
Alt DW and go.
Right, yeah. It says Metro, executed, it says Metro DW does not exist.
What was the last?
So mine completed this time.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at the errors. So if I right click and do refresh databases, I have a Metro Alt DW. If it doesn't exist, that probably means you didn't do that. So right at the very top, select if it exists.
Select it.
No, that's fine. If it exists, select name, drop database, Metro Alt DW.
You need to go again.
Do a go after that, and right after this, and a go after that.
It's the previous one.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
I wonder if in the title.
Well, so actually, maybe let's look at the. It has been. Alter table, date, so right there.
Mine.
Go back to the top table. Writers, the very first one has to have. I think it'll run after that. Let's see. No, what's the next error?
Column name did schedule key does not exist in target table review.
Right, so just check that, probably in the alter tables.
Yeah, so mine's on like here. So.
So let's look at, so you have gym employee key. So gym
Should I just-
employee PK, gym employee key. Given employee key does not exist in the target table.
Maybe it's further.
Let's
up.
look at your fact schedule.
Or maybe I left it out there and then it's in
So go up a little bit.
there.
Yeah, go higher. Go to where you dimmed, you created your fact schedule. Higher. All the way up where you're creating that. So you do have dim employee key. Don't make it an identity.
Oh, maybe that's.
Don't make the employee key an identity.
You can in dim employee, but not in the.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
I didn't need to run this.
Or you can run it, you probably be good at some of it, so just run it from the top. You don't need to select. Just run it, because we want to run the script. But you don't have to select it.
Oh. There's nothing.
If you run
Because it
all-
says use master up here.
That's fine.
Oh, there's no.
Okay, so there's enough line. There is already an object.
But you dropped it, you dropped the database.
You should drop it. Oh, these, let's see, those shouldn't,
Should I just get rid of those?
yeah, comment those maybe. Go, it exists. You're going to drop it, go. Use natural colors. Yeah, that should work. You should drop it. There's already an object.
Finding bugs.
Yeah,
So it doesn't seem like it's.
let's not drop it.
Did I, let's see.
Natural
Yeah.
colors. I should just drop it.
Should I just put it on here? Do I need another?
Alter table. See if you
Do I have another interface?
Oh, you called it dim employee, you do it dim employee key. Try it again. If it fails, we can do that. Why is it not doing the drop? And if you say the why is it not drop? It should look like it is.
There's something. Oh, it still says use master.
Yeah, it should.
Okay.
There's already an object called dim employee. Let me look, maybe this is, it's got the dim employee, dim bus, dim route, dim schedule, dim daily fact schedule. Why does it keep saying that? So we create this, we use, oh, that's what all these do. I think we added all these tables to Metro. Go ahead and run.
Okay.
We can just ignore them.
The ones that are in Metro.
Yeah. Or you can go try to delete them.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when I did this over individual control.
Yeah.
When I did it on my laptop, I got this. This is about a common.
I don't know. If you just copy.
Um, But
One of them
there's a
has,
misspelling.
there is a misspelling. Did you correct it?
Yes.
You shouldn't have. The misspelling's in the database.
Oh.
I misspelled bus schedule assignment key in ridership. Yeah.
So it's saying
So
on
how do I correct it? Think
the
that's the
schedule
key.
key does not exist. Even though it absolutely does.
So, well, it exists there, but where does it not?
Oh, fax. What is the fax? Does it fax schedule?
So it's actually.
It's not, it's not that.
So part of what I wanted to do is to show you what this looks like, and then we'll try to do the inserts, which are a pain in the butt.
We're gonna do individual inserts instead of like a bulk.
Well, we'll do them one at a time, but then I'll show you, we'll save it to run in the bulk later. So I'm going to make the diagram. The work when you change, there's one of the bus schedule assignment keys is spelled wrong, as you probably have found before.
For one problem.
What?
And bus schedule assignment ridership, I changed it.
Oh,
Bus schedule assignment.
so you actually corrected the spelling?
Yeah.
I'm not sure then. I'll look in a minute. Okay. Let me do the zoom on
I
this.
didn't have bus schedule assignment.
Well, we'll worry about it. I mean, when we do the inserts. I want to get. I'm going to zoom down to 75%, which is small, but I just wanted to show you the look of it. So this is what we did, right? We have our fact table, and we have our dimension tables that cluster around it. This is, by the way, it's called a star view. It's a star structure. There are other structures you can do, but the star is one of the most common. The star being basically that you have a fact table surrounded by spokes out to the dimension tables.
So is that what's also called a wheel, basically?
I don't know. I've never heard it called the wheel. I usually just call
Some
it star.
database teacher called it that, where you basically have like a central table and then
The database diagrams.
They usually call them star, and then there's another one that's called. There's another structure that's common.
So any of the queries that we're gonna run with, now that we generated this star, kind of connection, we could have ran without creating it, just with like a really complex query.
Yes, you could have. This is just to make. Actually, not. I think you could.
It's just trying to make sense of it.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure how the underlying queue structure processes the data.
Oh,
My data.
differently.
Yeah, I think it might process it differently.
So it'll treat this data differently.
Yeah. I
Looks
mean,
like maybe
So you
I
didn't get a
missed-
relation, missed a relationship.
Yeah, I must have missed, yeah.
So if you go back,
So,
that's fine. So you need to go down.
I'm not good.
So it'd be in the alter tables. You did bus. Is bus the one that's left out?
Yeah.
So it may be in the fact table, the foreign keys. So fact schedule, we've got employee.
Oh, I don't,
You need one of those foreign key things for bus.
so can I just run out?
Yeah. So if you just copy that. so it didn't bust. And then what you want to do is close the diagram because it won't let you drop. So just close it, don't save it. Okay, run the script again.
Just this?
No, the whole script. Yeah. I suppose you could run this down. I think everyone, now if you do your thing, it should be this. I think you actually could just. So actually, that'd be a good question on the cube, how it actually processes it under, yeah.
Still, now it's a invalid column here.
So the foreign key has to be the route key.
I see.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
West.
Oh, that's right. We're talking about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Did you come
First time there, then yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a really nice area. If they have better transit, I think.
Yes, that is a little bit of a challenge, for sure. I take the rapid ride, which fortunately is only 2 blocks from my house.
All right, to see to see
Yeah, I
it.
can see,
Last junction.
but a lot of times it's really fast, and people just wait for the next bus.
Well, there's a lot of C buses.
And they come just like, if one's really crowded, they'll just wait 3 or 4 minutes. During peak hours. But yeah, basically there's like one main route. So it's the bridge.
Well, the bridge, it's just like getting away from off if you're not on the C line.
Right.
And the other buses don't run that frequently.
No.
Like the 128 runs so like every half hour.
So yeah.
Wait, are there any rapid rides that go west now?
Yeah,
Let's
see.
see.
Oh, those? That's pretty, that's good.
It's really fast. I live right next to the last stop downtown, and so I get on it and I ride 4 stops and I'm where I want to be.
Just not getting over the bridge, so.
I go over it, and, I go on Saturday, so I really don't want to go back to that. So.
Nicole, do you live in West Seattle?
Yeah.
I probably go past you all the time.
Probably. So would you take the 116 or do you take the C line?
Rapid ride
You
usually.
take the C line.
Just call it the rapid rides. It's-
Yeah. Sometimes I'll take the 116 or if those ones come, but the problem is the trains. Because it goes through Soto.
Oh, yeah.
But I think those go right onto the ferry, actually.
Oh, 118 and 119.
Yeah, oh, 180.
Yes. I often have to take those. So.
Yeah. So you know you've been stuck on land or behind a train.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But yeah, normally I just take the rapid ride.
At those hours, it's faster than taking 99 or this. Yeah, just go through this. Like 99 or San are just so bad that it's actually just passing.
Yeah.
I didn't go.
You were like, what?
I went to the jail.
Oh,
Yeah. It's my elbow.
Yeah.
oh, do you have like metal?
I have metal loss after my elbow for some reason. So I'm I haven't moved on the planes since I've gotten the metal here in my body, so we'll go through that.
Go through the extra training.
Yeah.
Don't they use like titanium?
Titanium here, titanium, yeah.
Oh, but it still
still
shows
that's the metal detector on.
Oh, okay. I wonder, I guess I have some staples.
Well, they're not so big.
Oh, so let's go back.
Yeah, I think they're really small.
Yeah, these are like things attached there and then there.
Okay, oh yeah, let's see your
Well, I broke my last August. I was riding my bike. And,
Oh, you got through.
I've got
You want
right
to
up
go
to
to
the street car track.
Oh.
Flipped over the handlebars. Luckily, the car behind me was able to stop it.
All right.
I was on my way to REI.
So
Thank God it didn't hit.
are we ready to try to populate these? What time is
Okay.
it? That may be as far as we get today. But we'll have this done, and then the second part be the SSIS where we get it so you could refresh the data all the time. And then, as I said, we would do we might get a little farther. What is it? It's 11:12. But it will take a little bit of time to do this. So you guys got this far? Everybody got this far? You still have an error or what?
No, I got it.
It looks all right.
Reset up.
Yeah. All right. So one of the things though for today too, you want to save this script for sure. All right, because we may be modifying it, and the alter tables we're going to need, and we're also going to need these inserts. So I'm going to first we'll insert into the into the employee one. So if you think about it, it's going to be a multiple join, right? Because we've got the employee key, the position name, the employee hire date, and the hourly pay rate. So these come from what, 3 different tables? So what is this? Oh, I guess I won't worry about it. Oh, it's MySQL. I don't care about that. I only installed it on here to test it for the other class. So I'm going to insert into dim employee, and let me look at over here just to make sure I know the columns I need. And that's an into, not int. And basically I'm just going to get all the columns, but we don't want to insert the actual dim. Whoa, where am I going? We don't want the dim employee key, but we do want all the others. And I'll break this up a little bit just to get it all on screen. Okay, so when we do this, we want to select employee key. So basically, we just want to select all these same fields. So I think what I'll do is just do this. So we're going to select all of those from employee. Okay, that gives us, and I'll do an E for that. Inner join probably employee position. Call that EP. On E dot employee key. Oh, we did. So one of the things we have to do here is we're bringing this from another table, right? So it has to be Metro Alt dot DBO dot employee, and then Metro Alt DBO dot employee position with the Metro, not a. Okay. On E dot employee key equals, and we'll probably have to do, so I'm going to do e dot employee key here too, because it's going to have to be equals ep dot employee key. And then we need an inner join position, and that would be Metro Alt dot dbo dot position. I'll make that as a p on p dot position key equals ep dot position key. And this needs to be, I'm just going to do p dot. That should populate this dim table. 500 rows, that's what it should be. So I said the script for this is on last thing if you need. So there might be issues. Did you ever figure out what?
I got like 12. 'Cause we did,
Yeah, if you added the, so I haven't necessarily added. I don't think I ran that thing that what you guys did. So 512 is probably correct. And I'm just, you don't have to do this, but sometimes it's a good select star from dim employee. And you can sort of see each employee, their dim, their employee key, their position key, position name, hire date, and then hourly pay rate. So, yeah, 500 to 512 rows. However many, 53, because we did add some employees at different times. I don't always do the assignments, so I tend to do them all in community assist. Do you have this? I mean, it's a complicated join in a bit, but basically you want all the fields. So inserted the dim employee, all the fields except for the dim employee key. You want to select those same fields. The one thing is we're bringing these over from Metro Alt. So you have to do the Metro Alt dot schema name dot table name. And they're all DBO for schema. Just for the thing that is really hard to populate, it's actually the fact table. These aren't horribly hard. Once you get the hang of it, then it takes a little.
So,
Part of why I'm populating this now instead of waiting for the SSIS is just to make sure that we have good insert statements. And again, if you get totally lost on these, the script is in August from last year on the block. Okay. Are we ready for the next one, or you need a minute?
Just one more second.
Yeah.
Is it okay to go up a little bit on the screen?
What do you need above it?
Add constraint.
Which constraint?
Thanks.
So the next one is route, right? Do you need a minute on route yet, or you got it?
I'm ready.
Everybody, or?
Yeah.
Okay. You got it? As I said, there is a script for this. It might take a couple of modifications, slight modifications, because we did make a couple of small changes. But the script on the blog is pretty close. So I'm going to insert into dim route. Is that what we did next, or dim bus? Doesn't matter exactly.
Did bus and dim route.
Yeah, I know, but which one did we do in order? Not that it matters for the dims, actually. Let's do bus, just to do them in order. And bus doesn't have a lot in there. So if I go into, I'm just going to close that one, go to dim bus, look at the columns. I'm just going to drag those over. And again, I'll break this. We don't want the dim bus key because that's an auto increment. And I'll break that. Oops. I just wanted to break that. I didn't want to delete it, just to put it all on screen. So insert, so we did the insert. So this would be select all these same fields. So I'm just going to copy them again. All right. So from metro alt .dbo .bus, which we'll call B. And then we're going to do it, I think it's just bus type is all I need, right? Inner join metro alt DBO bus type BT, and bus key will probably have to be B dot. All right, on B dot bus type key equals BT dot bus type key, and I think that is all we need for this. One inner join. Let's see if that works. Now I got 156 rows. That's about right, I think. So it gives you the bus key, the bus type key, and the purchase price. So theoretically, we could do something on the bus, costs of bus too, because that's a measure we could use. It's not one I set up, but it is a measure we could use. I'll give you a second on that.
So we basically just repeat this
You
procedure.
just do it for each table, right? For the dim tables, this isn't too hard. It's just getting the right inner joins. Fact table gets weird.
So how many is it supposed to be about? 156?
That's how many I got, yeah. I think that's about right for the number of buses. One of the things you know is if something's going terribly wrong if you get if you look at the bus table, there should be like 156 or so in the bus table. If you get to some number that's significantly different than what's in the underlying table, then you probably did something wrong. For what it's worth, too, these took me forever to work out. Not so much the dim tables, but wait until we get to the fact table. That is a pain.
They just keep going.
Yeah, you can keep going. Are you guys ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Everybody? So then it was the route, right? Insert into, why do I always want to leave the O out? Into dim route And again, what I'll do is I'll just go to route and pull the columns in. There's very few columns here, so this is easy. And actually, so there's nothing here that's not in route. So we can just do select those two fields. From Metro Alt dot DBO dot bus route.
So I have to change it to bus route key.
Oh yeah. And 126 rows, and that sounds about right. We're almost done with the dimensions. Next one is schedule, right? I will also post this, although it's identical to what I did last quarter, last time, almost identical. So insert into dim schedule. And I'm just going to bring the columns over. Oh, that's fact. I don't want that. And again, get rid of the dim schedule key. I'll break it. The only difference between this and the other one is the employee key. I'm going to break this too, just okay. And this can all come from bus schedule assignment. There's nothing here that's not in bus schedule assignment. What? Yeah, 360,000 or so. Part of me, when I'm looking at this, is thinking I should include like the date in there or something, but we'll leave it as is.
Whoa, that was a lot of rows.
Yeah, 365,000. This is the part when I wrote this. I wrote the original thing in C#, and I had a whole bunch of arrays of things like of drivers and all of these, and then I had all sorts of loops inside of loops. It was what you would an optimization nightmare. If you were doing notation, it was probably like an 06 or something. It literally took 5 days to get these 360.
Was there any like indication of how like R was moving along?
I could look. One of the things that I did along the way is I had a counter.
Okay.
So it would tell me how
So you
far.
knew it was still working.
Yeah, but it went on, and I did other things while it was working because it didn't take all my RAM, but it was a horribly inefficient process. But it was partially because I was trying to make it make sense. It still didn't really make sense. I was trying to only pull from the drivers, right, for the bus driver thing. I was only pulling from the routes. I was trying to make sure that on every day, every route is covered, and that every shift on every day where every route was covered. And I was also trying to make it so that no bus driver worked. I was actually trying to make it so no bus driver worked more than 2 shifts, but there are some, I've noticed that there are places where there are bus drivers working 24 hours a day.
So I actually was supposed to get like over 365,000 records.
Yes,
Okay, good.
because that's how many rows there are on that table. That's why I've been using Metro Alt, is it's the only database I have that's big enough that you can't just look at the table and see the answer. That being said, though, I want to get a different database because I want something where the numbers make more sense. And I don't want to have to write another bunch of loops. I obviously didn't do enough loops in some ways to make sure everything was good here. But all right, so we're down to the we have the date table. So the date table is not hard either. So I'm going to do insert into dim date, and I'll just get the fields from that. Okay,
How to do that?
I'm just dragging the columns. You drag the columns folder. You don't even have to open it, just drag the columns folder.
Wow.
That's handy.
The time
Yes.
saver.
And then I'm going to do, so
But at least it's a tool that would get used, you know.
I'm going to do the bus schedule assignment date, and then basically what I'm going to do is just do the year bus schedule assignment date. Needs to be, and just, this is a horrible field name. So I'll just pop that down. And then the month. From Metro Alt. DBO dot bus schedule assignment. And it should be the 365,000 rows again. So the fact table, as I said, is usually the nightmare one. To try to get it. So we've got everything populated except the fact table. And the fact table, if everything goes right, should be a number about like this. It should be about 365. You probably have more. Do you have more, or you have about the same?
365.
Yeah, it's okay. So it's about right. I wasn't sure. I guess it's only the writers that I added later. Right, so
I just have one more.
I might need to go through, well,
I have the exact same.
yeah, I might need to go through and add the ridership. And that actually might fail on mine, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll handle nulls. I'm not sure I ever did the import. And basically what you guys did when you did the first SSIS import is you added a year's worth of ridership, which is not in the default database, so that you could add it. Originally it was there and I just removed them to be re-imported. But I could import them and then update my database, assuming this works. All right, this part, let's see if I can do this. So we want to insert into fact schedule. And I'm going to get all the fields. Now, one of the things about the fact table, fact schedule, is for the most part, these fields come from the dim tables, right?
Can we keep the employee key in there?
Yeah, we'll have all those in there. So I'm going to select. I'm just looking at this, and I'm going to select distinct. I think I remember I had to do this for some reason. And then all of these fields, except fares per route, we have to do, I'm going to do control. C, I'm going to paste this. For fares per route, I'm going to do riders times fare amount. And actually, I think what I did, I'm just looking at these. Yeah. So I'm going to start from, I'm just reading this. I ran it at home at work, so I'm going to go with it. From DBO bus schedule assignment, so from Metro Alt. Bus schedule assignment. Okay, so that's the first one. Inner join dim employee. And I'm going to do that on, and let's do dim employee as DE. On DE, employee key equals BSA dot employee key. Does that make sense? So the dim employee key, we're going to use the employee key that comes from the underlying database, and we're going to match it to this one table. We have to pull a little bit of data from the underlying table, and a lot of the data will come from the dimension tables.
Lines under everything.
Yeah, there's still red lines here.
I think you have to add another line.
We have to, until we get all the relations
Yeah.
in. So I'm going to enter join. So that's with the employees. And then I'm going to enter join each of these other dim bus. So I'm going to enter join dim bus. I'm going to call it DB, I guess. On db.bus key. And we're still going with the BSA.bus key. And then we're doing another inner join. And we're inner joining dim route. So on, so basically on the dim with the BSA, right? So dim route key, actually dr.route key equals BSA.route key. So we're joining the dims with bus route key. Inner join schedule. So let's do this as DS on, and I'm just looking at this. What did I do this? DS bus schedule assignment key equals BSA dot bus schedule assignment key, and another inner join. Dim date with a DD. On DD dot bus schedule assignment date. Oops, I think there's a key. Don't I have that? Yeah, I did it on the date. Don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah. One of the secrets here is you can join fields that aren't keys. That being said, yeah.
Well, if you want, that won't maintain your referential integrity if you don't have them defined as keys.
Yeah, but in this case, there's no referential
Okay.
integrity involved.
I've got red lines.
Yeah, so we need the, we still have red lines because we still have some more inner joins. Inner join Metro Alt DBO dot writership, and I'll call that R. And it will be, this is where I'm trying to remember, on R dot bus schedule assignment key equals, I think, BSA dot bus schedule assignment key. And then we need to go to fair. Inner join fair, not fate, on F dot, oh, it's Metro Alt DBO fair. On F dot fair key equals R dot fair key. Let's see. I don't know if I can get all of that on screen. Let's lower that for a minute.
I still got red lines, but
I'm gonna try to run it, and then I'll try to get it all on screen there.
It's just taking a while.
Yeah, it could take a while. Let's hope that it eventually executes. I have a way to put it all on screen, I think, in a second. I'll go back to it. I was just going to
No.
Oops, it's too big to have it all on screen, I think. No, there it is. There is the query.
That definitely sets a record for most joins I've ever done in a single query.
Let's hope that it's will process and not take forever. I think it's actually working, but we'll see. It may throw in
It's
there.
taking its time.
Well, it's complicated. It's a join across multiple tables and multiple databases. Now, it may not be worth doing if this fails.
There it is. Figured it out. I didn't realize I didn't have to.
Look at the first
Yeah, it's,
Did you get your source?
Yes. I've got a lot of.
Yeah, I forgot to share the images on the first. So it's taking a while.
I changed this back.
3 minutes.
I only had one typo. This one. I see.
Oh, I know that.
So that's, this goes right here, this back up. This sort of back up. Yeah, just get rid of it.
Oh, it's like,
Over some meeting. Yeah, use
So this is the one. I think that's what you want. So that's
I think you can go through the last question.
see what's.
Yeah, maybe the butcher. Or you could go look at the logo. Oh, but you'd have to change it.
Nicole, is that a sorry?
Well, it's a Mexican.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that may be what's
Feel
bringing
and
up,
have
and
it
it could be that this
Cook
is
that in. Thought it'd be good for a hot day.
and it still hasn't got, no. I don't remember it taking 5-10 minutes to do. I wonder.
maybe that's just fine. Is your course still executing?
I don't
Mine's still
know.
going.
I know, I know.
5 minutes, wow. It hasn't thrown an error yet, but it is taking a long time. Yours is done? Okay. And it worked? How many rows? That's not right.
Yeah.
It may just be because it's in the virtual online, but I don't know.
That's all it's for. It's like, that's not really sure.
Is this the, well, actually, it doesn't matter what the name is. Down here. Any issue? Mine's still going or did it go? No, I'm still executing. Yours is still executing? Mine too.
Yeah.
Do you have a better computer than, she must have a better computer.
What do you think is the process?
I'm not sure. It's probably a really bad query in a lot of ways. All those joins and joins across databases. We're also doing a distinct, so it has to go through and get rid of rows. If it doesn't show up here pretty soon, though, 8 minutes, that's a long time. I don't remember it taking that long. I can believe it will take a while. Now, hers worked. Did she do anything different?
Mine's like 5, almost 6 minutes.
I just don't think she did anything. Because when I did it at home, it didn't take that long. Of course, you had the one that wasn't doing the work, but you're not in the version. So, I swear, when I did it before, as I said, when I ran it at home, the script processed in seconds as opposed to minutes.
In Task Manager,
Is it doing anything?
Seems to have 0% ICP.
I'm going to stop it and run it again, which could be a dangerous thing. What is that?
What's that noise?
That's what I was asking.
Is it coming from your computer?
Yeah, it is.
Maybe it's this DVD ROM. Because mine, for some reason, started spinning.
So are we burning it up with this?
This is getting all sorts of weird.
I swear it. When I ran it at home last night, it was done in a minute or less.
Yours is 41.
Why did hers take 41 seconds and ours are taking forever? And
Mine's at 57 seconds.
Mine is at 10 minutes, almost on.
So I was trying to cancel the query, which is probably as arduous as running it. Yeah. It's not hot.
Yeah.
call them and they are a lot of number gets between money. So the fan is running very fast. So
Just the task manager says that's 0%. You cannot change it's my SQL. It's like forced to quit.
Mine is working. I mean, the SQL is working, but
You cannot connect to the server.
let me do a, so Control Alt Delete inside of here. It shouldn't take this long.
Now mine's only got 0%.
Yeah, it says SQL 0 on SQL Server. And the query is doing, it's not even registering it, which I'm not sure what that means. Look at the memory though on this.
That's using almost 2 gigs. Mine is not in copper. It's not accessible.
Your database? You could come back. Which one, the dim one? You could always kill it and run the script again. It's using a ton of memory. I think it's using all the memory I've got. Sure, you could rerun the database again. Just save the script if this doesn't work. Did I do anything different than what was in the blog? So in the blog, so let's go back. Because as I said, I ran the blog last night. I just ran the, so I'm going to go back to 2/16 August. This is the fact table there. I think it's identical. When I ran it, it worked. But it's, yeah, it's running and running and running.
I got a successful run until
7 minutes?
no, 7.
Why was yours successful?
Maybe 7 seconds.
Wow, interesting. Thank you. Yeah.
What in the hell is causing this?
It took a while.
It's not throwing an error, which is
Yeah, on the
weird.
table.
Do we have anything, like any rule that says something runs for more than a certain amount? But then it would kill it.
Time out. I got the table.
Yours worked.
I realize that's a complicated query, though, but good riddance.
Well, there's got to be something in it that I'm not seeing that's causing this.
But it'd be interesting to be
Well, that's right. There must be something wrong in my query.
but you got it.
Well, I kept doing stuff. Changing this.
Mine's not.
And then I started.
You could run it again with like DW2 or something.
Goes off stuff. Just scroll it back up.
You could right click on it and try to do the recover. But we do that. We don't have a backup though.
Yep, execute successfully.
Okay, yes, we can.
17 minutes.
Wow.
How many rows for this? 1, 2, 3. It's
Well, we'll
like
be done soon, though.
12 lines, like 128 million rows.
So there must be
Is there like a?
a cross join going on.
Cross-join?
If I kill this way, well, I can't. I don't want to do that.
Because we should really,
It's 128 million rows.
well,
So it should. That means that there was a cross join,
Mine says
which is exactly what it should be.
oh,
300.
Yeah.
yes, somewhere.
So somewhere in here there's a cross join. Where is that? You got yours worked.
Yeah.
Did you copy from mine or did you take it from the blog? You did what I did. What did I do that's wrong? Metro bus schedule assignment, dim employee, an employee B.
Oh, that's scary.
What?
It can't, oh, no, it's still gone. It just went to sleep. That's all.
Well, I think if we're doing a cross join,
Nicole, what's the clock on yours at now?
Oh, no, did it just restart? No, it's at 15 minutes.
so if we did a cross join, then it's got.
It's,
I mean, if you figure 365,000 rows times 365,000 rows, then that's why it's using up all the RAM.
Into at least 10 figures for the amount of records then.
Yeah, so what did we do? I'm looking to see what if I could kill this. Yeah, what did they do that's different? I don't see where I did it. I don't see where the cross-join happened. That doesn't mean it obviously did happen. So
At this point, I'm almost gonna like take a lunch break. Maybe it will come back when I'm done.
hey, it quit making noise.
Maybe it's just died totally.
That's right, be cheerful.
I think what I want to do, I'm going to comment out this one. Not that it will necessarily stop anything. It won't. I mean, it's still processing
are you
this.
just gonna paste?
I'm going to paste the one in from the blog, which is identical as far as I can tell.
But we did add an employee, right?
Yeah, but that has nothing. That doesn't show up in here. Because as I said, when I ran this at home, it only took a few moments, more like yours.
Done.
Where'd you find?
Oh, it's if you go to the blog, this is from last August. So if you go to August of 2016, there's a thing, Metro Alt DW script. And I ran, as I said, I ran that last night and it worked perfectly fine. I don't think it'll let me run it until it cancels. And then bus route key, what is it not like that? Oh, that's because I didn't name it. So this is route key. Bus schedule assignment key. I think
Oh, yes, SCC.
right, I think I spelled it right this time. Maybe not. Bus SCH. Let's look at this. Ooh, it's still running at close to full memory. So probably one of the things you want to do if you got that millions of records is to either delete or truncate it before we.
So there's just a lot of redundant data.
Yeah. Now, did you guys have? And I have it though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
So I don't understand how we allow for that.
Well, there had to be. As I said, there had to be a cross join somewhere, but I don't know where. I will compare the two, and we can do this. I've never actually, for what it's worth, I've never actually done these fact tables without some problem, but I think this is the first time that I killed machines.
So I'm just gonna should I just delete it?
So you could just do, you could just delete everything, or there's a command we'll be using later called truncate, which does the same thing. Just deletes it. Yeah. Just finish canceling already. I think it's taken as long to cancel as it did to.
I've deleted it and done it again.
Yeah.
So it's,
Did you change the query?
yes. I've changed, I've deleted the metro all details and it executing everything. So it's we start with the last one.
Yeah. Did you get the one from the blog?
No.
Because I think it should work.
Yeah, I'm executing from the same place.
When you killed the, deleted the Metro Alt DW, did it stop the?
Yes, it was deleted. I have stopped this query and then deleted it.
Right, I tried to stop it. I wonder if it will let me even delete it. But there's a
one red.
there's a red box.
Should I just hit that? Oh, wait.
So this may just make things worse.
Can I see your?
What do you want?
Just select on the insert tile, but just select on the insert.
On which one?
On the big problem one.
The original one?
Can't you see? Oh, so go to the blogs and then go to 2016 and then August. And there's a link to the blog.
So that's not, mine isn't doing anything on that. I'm just sort of frozen until it decides that it's canceled. Yeah, it's not canceling. And I hit that. It's working on canceling, but it's taking as long as it was for the other.
Should I do that or should I just let it?
At this point, you might be better off to let it run.
I think I'm fixing it and we'll see.
I'm wondering if it's gonna like rescreen my VM at some point.
Nah, it shouldn't. But what it's doing, and what a cross join can do, is it can totally eat up your RAM. It can freeze your machine.
Mine's not using up as much RAM as it's only like 57% still.
I wonder if I can just, but if I do this, I'll be ending the. I want to Control A, Control C. I'm going to kill SQL Server. I don't know what that'll do.
Bad things, probably.
You trying to delete it now?
Yeah, I was just trying to kill SQL Server altogether. Did it do anything? It's disconnected. All right, so it actually didn't kill. All right, so let's see what I've got here.
So we tried to run through the blog and it works successfully.
I did last night and it worked fine.
We're on blog.
All right, do I have Metro Alt DW entirely here? Okay, so I'm going to, and then I'm curious, I'm going to, before I run the new one, I'm just going to see if I have data in the other ones. Select star from dim bus, because I just killed the server. Oh, this isn't connected. I need to connect it.
Go to 2016. And there was a couple things. So you might have a few ones. Yeah.
Okay, so I think all my data is gone, which is okay.
You could just run it.
Yeah, dim bus. Let's just do dim schedule. These are all instructive things where you can, so no data in my dims. So I'm just going to real quickly go up and run the diagram. But is this correct? Yeah, it should be. Okay. I'm just checking to see that the data base is still intact, which it seems to be. And then I'm going to run the inserts. 500 rows, that's good. 156 rows. 126 rows. Yeah, 3,000 some rows. What? Am I in master?
Yes.
Wow. All right, let's go back. Actually, that's a good question.
That's fine with that.
That's why they were empty. Okay. I'm going to have to clean up master. Well, luckily, this is probably dead after this week. So they're probably already there. Let me just real quickly. Yeah, the data is there. Okay, so let me try with bated breath and fingers crossed, the one from the blog. And I don't want to select at the end though. It should take it a little bit.
Oh, just go to surface.
Oh, syllabus, okay. No.
Market, yeah. And then the blogs. And then.
No, I had to shut my computer off.
So far, go to August 2016.
I mean, I did just ship out SQL.
Oh,
16.
And then I got it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where to put my.
that's weird.
And then expand that. And then you can click.
So if this takes forever, I can see it taking a couple of minutes, but it shouldn't take.
I'm over half an hour now on mine.
Yeah, that's not. It's not
I'm
good.
waiting to see if this works. To,
Mine's still going.
How many seconds did yours take? Like 45, 50?
47.
So I will. If this takes more than a couple minutes, I'm going to.
Also, I did, I compared the one that we did
Yeah.
in class and that one's the one on the blog. The only difference is plus route key and DB plus key.
Right, which should be.
Also, this is weird. This is on the DR plus route key. DB.
Did I do? I may have named them something differently. So dim bus, and I have route key, BSA route key, DS.
I had to renew a couple of things to run the bullet one.
But it ran when you did it? Are you still
So
in the
it's
same?
still 10 minutes now.
Why is it doing this? Yours worked. That bothers me that yours worked. I mean, if I made a mistake, I could see it causing a problem, but why does it work on a couple of people?
so you just copied yours from the blog.
I did. You have to make a couple of minor changes because we named things slightly differently. Yeah, yours worked or not? Oh, so you have to do all the alter payments. Did you do those?
Yeah, I did that.
So we did a bunch of alter tables with the foreign keys, but they aren't showing up. Maybe they should be there. Yeah. There should be. Let's see your alter tables. Alter table, those are all the foreign keys. And you ran those, right? When did you do your, maybe, yeah, make a new one. Well, so make it a, close this diagram. Make it diagram. So new database diagram. And then add all your tables. So they're not related. The only thing I think is the message is one page. Or, let's go down. When you were running these, it said you click on those. Yeah, try running them again. You don't need the primary keys. You only need the foreign key. Because the primary keys are there. It's weird. I'm not sure I understand those, but it's not weird. It should still update. The only thing I was wondering was if you were running your keys against the master or something like I did originally. So it's at the 18,000 thing again. I am going to do, let's see if I can end.
And that was with the new.
Yeah, it's still doing. It shouldn't be taking this long. It shouldn't be taking 5 minutes. I'm going to open up a new query window. I'm going to close this. I'm going to create a new query window. I'm going to go to my blog. I'm going to copy the whole script. Oh, I have to restart. I killed the server, so I have to restart the server. All right, so I'm going to create a new query. I'm going to, so this is the query from the blog, no variations. Execute.
You don't have to change that from plus route P to route P.
It should be okay because I'm running not just the,
Oh, you're running everything.
I'm running the whole script.
We dropped what I didn't thought.
Yeah, what?
We dropped what I didn't.
Well, so this would drop it, right? So I'm getting errors. Oh, because it's currently in use. This is disconnected though. Where is it not? All right, so one of the things I'm going to do, I am going to exit.
Maybe got multiple cross joints.
Okay, so I closed everything here. I'm going to go back in. I'm just going to run the script from the blog. And we'll see what happens. And we'll call it a day. This kind of stuff, as I said, it could drive you crazy. I did this last summer and it worked. There's no reason it shouldn't work now. I don't know what's going on with that query. All right, so new query. This is the script from the blog. No changes. Just exactly from the blog. It's very close to what we did with some slight changes.
Mine worked when I did it straight from the blog.
It should.
13 seconds.
It's weird though, because there's really no, okay, now Metro Alt DW because it's currently in use.
Is it listed in the little box up there, the Metro Alt DW thing? There it says. There it is.
Yeah, but I think that's because it was, it changed it. I'm going to change this to Metro Alt DW1. I think I think my Metro Alt may be ruined like yours, my Metro Alt DW. doesn't have an error thing on it. So I just changed everything to Metro All DW1. Let's execute that. What? Oh, that's because it's Metro All DW1 here too. All right, execute. You said it took 13 seconds. So in the virtual, if it takes, there it goes. It went. Why? Why? Yes, it had 11 seconds.
So it's probably the script.
There's something wrong with, but I don't know. I don't. You compared them, and I don't see the differences much.
Just on that last statement.
Yeah.
Mine's still.
So when I look at Metro Alt DW1, if I refresh over here, I guess what I would say is having walked through that, if you want to run the script. So it looks about the same. The only difference that I know of, and I will look to see what other differences I see, is we added that employee key, but it shouldn't matter. That shouldn't have caused this kind of, I wonder if it did. Remember we added the employee key in the schedule? It shouldn't have made that much difference. You had it though, right?
Yes.
So I can't see how that would cause that much of an issue because it's in the,
More seconds.
yeah, we'll go with this.
Should I kill mine?
Yeah,
So do I just control delete?
so you can't do Control Alt Delete inside the virtual machine, but if you go to the virtual machine menu and do VM, notice where it says send Control Alt Delete. Then you can do that. It's actually instead of Control Alt Delete, it's
And then you just go to the task manager.
Yeah, and then it'll give you the task manager. Now, what you'll be killing is SQL Server, so you'll have to restart it.
So just kill it.
Yeah.
The management studio?
No,
The manager?
no, SQL Server.
Let's see just.
Might have to scroll down. So do details. Go down. The one that's taking, so then just in task. Maybe it's stopped. Let's see it. There it is. So click on that. No, it's ended. Notice you got a thing when it was. So then notice this has a little dot beside it because it's not running anymore. Right click on it and do start. Yes. So what I would do is like open a new query window, go to the blog, get all of that.
I disconnected by going in the task manager, so now I can't reconnect.
We're right, because you have to restart the SQL Server.
Okay.
Right click on the SQL Server in the corner.
Oh, no, I mean, like, I can't.
Yes, because it's not running. Right click on it. That was it. And it's, all right, so let's call it good for now. And what we'll do next time is we'll build the SSIS.
Okay.
we'll just run the script from the thing. I will look at it between now and Monday and see if I can try to figure out why one worked and the other didn't. I just reran everything. Now, one of the things that I did, one of the things that I did is I renamed it Metro Alt DW1.
Do you know what I'm thinking of? You know, I think it is.
What?
On your insert into the dim date,
Yeah.
on the blog, you have a distinct bus schedule assignment date, but in the one that we did, you don't have a distinct bus schedule assignment date.
Oh. So the distinct.
No, where's
On the insert into dim date,
Oh.
for the bus schedule assignment date, bus schedule.
That's right.
Bus schedule one.
Because I don't want a date for everything. I just want the general. You're right. So we do want. That makes sense. I think that's right. We were looking, and I've done this before in my life.
Because I remember you were saying like you needed distinct, that other distinct.
Right. So the error isn't in the fact table.
No.
That's why it was driving me nuts.
Okay, so it's in the, go to insert into the dim date table.
Yeah, so when you insert into the dim date, you need a
Select distinct.
select distinct.
So the people who got it right were doing that?
I guess.
I was entering, when I wasn't getting things right, I restarted the connection.
Yeah.
And I went back and I went through each of the, what you call it, segments. I script.
Oh, no.
I went through independently, doing each one independently. And then I finally.
All right, I'm gonna run it.
Yeah.
Because there were some errors that would come up when I would do them independently.
Yeah. With the.
And then I would correct the errors using the IntelliSense.
Well, we had all of the fields right.
It works with this thing.
Yeah. I think the problem is that what it was trying to do is that, so you had 365,000 rows
Mine worked.
of dates, which you don't want. Right? You just want the distinct dates.
Good job.
Good, yeah, excellent job.
That's
Oh,
a
no,
hard,
we did.
it's a hard find
Yeah, that is.
with a query like that.
So if you ran the other script, it's fine too. They're very close.
Can I delete the first?
I might, so I have this on Notepad. I'll post it now that the distinct is in there. So you said it worked?
Yeah.
So I'll post it on the blog. I may try to run it again with our changes, and we can, worst case, next time when we come back in, we can just blank out what we did and run this script from the blog. I kind of want the employee key in there. I think it might be useful. So, well, as I said, the populating the fact table has always given me headaches, but it wasn't.
It just shows you how easy it is just to do one word, one line.
One word,
And
one
also how
line.
you might draw your error solving might go to a whole different place.
Well, and I do this all the time programming. So I spend hours, frustrated over this, function or something, and the error is somewhere else entirely.
Yeah.
You keep revisiting the logic over and over and over again, and there's nothing wrong with it. So let's get back.
It's not that.
If you want to come back at like 1:10 or 1:15, that's probably good enough. I don't have a lot this afternoon, so it'll be mostly working on your presentations, and I might do a little presentation. Yeah.
So that this is the first one that I filled. Can I go
Yeah.
ahead and delete that?
You can, or you must get just that distinct. And
I mean, I have the new one.
yeah. We could.
And you actually did it in the past.
What?
He did that with the same.
You did that with this.
I'm trying to add, this is my control.
So,
I wanted to.
oh.
So it won't allow me to attach it.
You cannot attach it from the desktop.
Oh. From data?
Well, you have to either, it doesn't have to be in the data folder, although that's the easiest. It just has to be a root level folder, it can't be a profile level. So the desktop is individualized to different users. They're isolated from the whole, it has to be a root level, it has to be at C.
Auto delete it. I actually had to, I had to exit out of quit,
Oh, to quit.
yeah, quit, and then go back in and we'll let you delete.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I probably will run this original one.
Just for the employee.
Yeah,
After this thing. So how many rows do you have got?
should be,
26, I think.
yeah, that should be, that sounds right. I have 365,000 from the one from the blog.
Yeah. 26, 65 cents.
So let me put this into the blog for this time. All right, thank you for putting up with my little errors.
And then DW is still stuck. I'm not able to delete it one more time. It says-
Yeah, I'm not sure how well. Says it's still using a lot of memory, but oh well.
Probably should turn my computer with me to go to eat, right?
What?
There's not gonna be any working through lunch or so.
Probably not. I don't know, actually. Probably safer to take it, but I will lock the door if there's no one in here. Okay, so I published it hopefully with the, let me make absolutely positive that the date has distinct, and it does. Okay. Yeah.
So this is the part where we have created data warehouse.
Right. With all the chaos involved, yes. So this is the data warehouse. It's when you take the data and break it into dimensions and factor.
Okay, so it's like transferring the data from one database to other one.
Right, and restructuring it.
Mhm.
And then, so the trick and the hard part really is getting that restructured.
Yeah,
Right.
you need to like have an understanding.
Yeah, and that takes, my understanding of it isn't as good as it should be. So if I don't explain it perfectly well, I think it's because I have a pretty basic understanding of it, but I'm sure there are pieces I'm still missing. And the reason of that is, I think, because when we get into the data analysis actual part of it,
Yeah.
some things don't work quite right. And I don't know if it's because of the database or because I didn't structure it right. So maybe you guys
So
can
in
help.
real time, is it like they give us a requirement?
So somebody would have to create the data warehouse. It may be that your job would be more likely just to run the analysis on it or something. We'll, as I said, we will also go through AdventureWorks because it is well structured for it.
Yeah.
And then we can look at that and see, maybe that will help.
This one is not at all deleting for me.
Yeah, it probably won't delete for me either. Maybe. It went away.
Okay. I think I should try after a while.
Yeah, I've shut my server off a couple of times.
Oh.
Maybe come back.
Maybe make it because it's so late. Let's do like a quarter after.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's the last.
Yeah, I wish it was my last class for today. Let me copy.
What do you have a plan for afternoon?
Actually, there's not a lot for the afternoon. It's mostly for to work on group stuff for the presentations, and I might do a presentation. I'm not super ready for one, but I might do one just to take up time. Okay. Okay, good. I ran the other script and it worked.
Smart.
Yeah, I have Metro Alt DW back again with all the data. Just that distinct. That's what I forgot.
I used to distinct.
Yeah, you had to have used a distinct on the date one. So where we did the insert into dim date, I'm looking for it. We needed distinct here, and I forgot that, and that's what was causing it to. You must have it, or it wouldn't have worked, I don't think. Insert into dim date. You don't have a distinct? Because it shouldn't have worked otherwise. Let me look real quickly and then I'm going to go to lunch.
Oh, I have.
You do have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the difference between it working or not working. Okay, I'll be back. You have a question? Still not giving me that? You don't have permission? I don't think that. It says it can't find the page.
It's not her thing.
So I'll take that schedule. So let's go. Yeah, original one. Right. Maybe close. Okay, now you got it.
Last one.
That last query.
Long one.
So there wasn't an error in that one.
Yeah, no, it takes forever.
Well, so the error was up above. So into the date, if you do right here, do distinct.
So the same thing.
Right, that needs the word distinct in front of this schedule. And if you do that, it runs and it doesn't take, it only takes a few seconds.
So, don't do the insert again.
Yeah, so I would eliminate get rid of what's in that table.
Okay.
So do, just delete everything in that table and then, run that again. And then you can run the big query and it should be okay. If you do have stuff in the big query, in the back table, delete what's there and then run that other.
Minutes is how much time I spent. Not right. 40 minutes. No, within 60 minutes. I just Googled on the street like
It was the small miss error.
So that's why it takes. So if I do that, it will take like not forever to.
So we'll probably be starting late, just to let you know.
It's all right.
We left like 2 minutes ago.
How are you?
Great.
So it's, excuse me. Oh. Do I put distinct there too, like that?
Yeah, it's real.
I just put that. It's distinct for everything. So just execute this here, or? Pretty sure all of these I've already executed. This one first. It's gonna take at least a couple of minutes, so use the bathroom while I start that.
Oh, yeah. She was on the Pluto list. I just manually, there's a IP number here, so I just manually added it. Secret friend. I like it. I think they intentionally left out.
It's probably like the one parent doing that has like coloring or something.
Oh, man. Hey.
Actually, I think it's just tan.
Oh, well, that's good, that's better. Your vitamin D, huh?
The beach with my roommate yesterday.
What's that?
I went to the beach yesterday with my roommate.
Oh,
It was okay. I had a
which beach?
water in my mouth. And the Dry Beach. Oh.
That's near where I used to live when I was a little kid.
Wow. You still live there.
Huh?
Really nice.
What?
You still live there. It's very nice.
I live in Tacoma now.
So you gotta go commute every day?
Yeah,
That's all.
I know. It's not a nice thing.
I think the smoke is really better now. So, than like the fires in British Columbia.
I mean, it's worse there than here.
Yeah, that's everything's
I think it's worse here.
Really?
It seemed to me that it was downtown Seattle had the combination of the pollution plus.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're back yesterday. I didn't. Because yesterday was really smoky. I thought it was like a barbecue or like a.
Sauce.